is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Well, JJ Wang, we are about ready for week 10. It's going to be a wet and wild one on Thursday night. We're recording just prior. Got a couple questions from that. I have to hit on one of our Facebook guys about that who was asking it. But are you ready?
I'm ready. What I'm really ready for is to see what happens with the whole Colts situation. That thing is out of control. It's so funny. I wish I owned a football team so I could do this. Just whatever I wanted, just treat it like it's a Madden team sometimes. I'm very interested in seeing how this turns out.
I'd rather be a Colts fan right now than a Washington Commanders fan because that's a disaster of another nature, not fantasy related at all. But oof.
But that's different.
Yeah, it's called.
But yeah, just the way what this owner's doing here in Indy, it's very, very interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's see what happens. So yeah, we're the Fantasy Couriers. Hit us up everywhere on the internet. I'm not going to waste your time listening. You know where to find us. Easiest way to find everything is on the website, fantasycouriers.wixsite.com/website. If you didn't catch that, it's on the linear notes. But we got a whole bunch of things going on this week. Got a couple questions for JJ Wang, and if we're grumpier than normal, I was struggling to get the recording started. JJ Wang disappeared all of a sudden, and then I got it going, and we got back on here, but you couldn't get on. It was just one of those days. But luckily for me, do you get off the weekend?
Yeah, I usually get off all weekends.
So, well, first off, thank you. This is your weekend. Veterans Weekend. JJ Wang served for our country. I got my Under Armour Freedom shirt on, so I just want to start by saying thank you, JJ Wang. You were Army, correct?
Well, yes, I was. Well, I didn't even realize that was coming up. So, yeah. But, yeah, I was. It was some good times, let me tell you.
So, yeah, we had a big old Veterans Day assembly at school today. Some family veterans came in. The bands came in, chorus sang. The entire school was there. So, it's just a big old day at the school. And it's a good day for people that serve. It takes a very special person to do that. So, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And now let's jump into our week. Got a question before we get in. I got a couple questions here, but the first question is the Raiders. Are they done? Waller and Renfro, not that Waller's been doing a lot this year and Renfro's been hurt, they were popped to IR. Are they throwing in the towel and saying get rid of Josh McDaniels and get a real coach?
I mean, I feel like that's what every team does with Josh McDaniels and say, oh, this guy's got to go. But yeah, I mean, it's tough right now. Waller, but I mean, not really missing much with Waller. He hasn't played all year. I mean, get paid big money and then you just decide to skip out and not play. It's kind of seeing it coming. But yeah, that's bad. I mean, Raiders aren't good right now. They are in a free fall. But yeah, this doesn't help.
Yeah, we liked him preseason, which is kind of crazy to think. Is with all of this here, and he's been okay throughout the year, is Mac Hollins a guy how high would you place him as a starter this week based upon like bye week shambles this week? I'll jump ahead to who has bye weeks just to think about it. We're looking at the Ravens, the Bengals, the Patriots, and the Jets. So you're without Jacoby Myers, you're without the two Bengals receivers, and you're without, nobody from the Ravens. Duvernay got, 0 last week? And maybe you might have started, what's his name in the Jets, the rookie?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, thank you. Might be one of your options, but is Mac Hollins a thought to start like as a wide receiver 3, maybe flex?
I mean, I think he's an option. I mean, he can have a boom game. I mean, they still got to put people out there. I mean, they still got Devontae Adams. That he'll be their number 2 wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
And he's been effective at times. But I said it's like a boom or bust thing. I mean, you kind of got to be desperate to put him in there because you just don't know what you're going to get. But I mean, if he does hit, boom. I mean, you got to be brave.
I have Drake London playing tonight in the rain, so I just put in Mac Hollins over Drake London, who hasn't been great anyway, and then throw in the rain. Oh, my goodness.
Drake London Kenyon Drake hasn't been.
No, Drake London.
Drake London. I was saying Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake's on bye this week. I would play Kenyon Drake like a champ.
Drake London has been bad. You're right.
As have all the receivers. So I want to run through each of the major positions and the top 5 guys from last week. And I want you to tell if any of them have staying power for this week, and if you could name one player that's not on this list that you think could take over for the top 5, to take one of these spots, maybe even jump to 1. So I got the top 5. They're listed there for you. So last week, the top 5 quarterbacks were Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tua, and Geno. If one of those 5, who do you think doesn't repeat as a top 5 quarterback this week?
I think it possibly could be Josh Allen, right? Because he may not play.
Let's exempt. Let's say Josh Allen plays. If Josh Allen plays, Is he still your answer?
You know, I can't say. You know what? I would say no. I can't say Josh Allen's my answer if he plays. That'd be hard to do. I mean, honestly, you know it's not Patrick Mahomes. You know he's going to stay. It would be between Tua, Geno, and Justin Fields. Justin Fields is on a hot streak. Tua's playing well. I would probably say Justin Fields. Probably it's a tie. I would say it's tied between Tua and Justin Fields, just because Geno's been doing it all year. Um, but Justin Fields has been really, really hot lately, and Tua finally had his one, big game. So you know what? Just to be a homer and an antagonist here, I'm gonna say Tua.
I know you are. I'm gonna say Gino. He's playing overseas against the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
Overseas.
that is true.
That would pop him out for me. Is there any guy that you think off the top of your head we're looking who could sneak in there? We're looking at maybe like a Kirk Cousins, maybe. Looking farther down. Ugh, it's a garbage week.
Well, I mean, it's all
Russ
those. I
off the
mean,
bye. Dak
you know,
Prescott.
I mean, any quarterback can really pump in there, right? Anybody in the top 12. Would it be surprised if Dak was up there? No. I'm not really sure. You said was
Let's
on
look at
by.
Dak's my guy that popped in. Kirk Cousins is a possibility, but they're playing Buffalo. It depends upon if Josh Allen really comes in. Justin Herbert, Kyler,
Yeah,
guys
I
that
mean,
are down that could
all
jump up
those
there.
guys, all those top 12 quarterbacks, top 13 quarterbacks could pop in there without any question.
How about the backup quarterback in Los Angeles Rams? Since Matt Stafford has a concussion, so everybody keep an eye on that. Who is it? It's I can't even pull it off the top of my head right
Because
now.
I mean, they're playing. I mean, they're playing so well with Matt Stafford. I would love to have their backup in there. I tell you.
The backup quarterback, backup running backs, which all of them are, and Cooper Cup. Top five running backs last week were Joe Mixon, Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, and Cordero Patterson. I'm not counting Kenyon Drake because they're on bye this week. Of those top six, then Mixon, Walker, Etienne, Henry, or Patterson, anybody there who you think could drop out of the top five running backs this week? Which one's most
Well,
likely to have a
probably
climb?
probably Patterson. I feel like he's more touchdown dependent than the rest of them. I think the rest of them are all pretty entrenched in their RB1 role. Patterson's just coming back off injury, and Algiers looking okay. So I mean, I feel like it'd be a split between them two, and maybe Huntley's getting some carries. So if any of them, I'd say it would probably be Patterson.
Intriguing. Yeah, I don't know who I could pull there. Somebody's going to, and I might have ETN's who I'm thinking with the Chiefs being there, and they could get blown out if I had to pick one out because I'm looking at Patterson, and the only reason Patterson would be my answer too, except that they're going to just run tonight, and they're going to run, and they're going to run Atlanta. Until y'all listen to it, it could be tomorrow, so I could be totally wrong by now. But like Patterson at basically the number 6 guy last week, that's crazy because he didn't have a lot of yards. You are correct on that. Top 5 receivers from last week: Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Allen Lazard.
Right.
Which one of those guys could drop off a cliff this week? And any
Well,
guys you
this could be Lazard very easily. If he doesn't get his touchdown, he's in
let's say
trouble.
top
Like,
4 then. Lazard's our guy. Yeah, it would be the guy. Let's look at those top 4 superstars.
I'd probably, I
Adams,
mean,
Hill, Cup, and Jefferson. I think we have the same answer.
it's got to be Adams because he's been boomer bust. I mean, the rest of them are fantastic. I mean, they're going to do what they've always done. Adams is here, and then he disappears. So I'd go with Adams.
I'm thinking Adams, and I think CD Lamb coming off a bye could be a guy to sneak in there. It's a
I hope so.
possibility. Yeah, a lot of people hope so. Your favorite top 5 tight ends? Listen to this list:
All of them.
Cole Kmet, Dallas
All of
Goddard,
them.
Cade Otton, Travis Kelsey, and Jawan Johnson. Which one of those 5 has the best chance to drop out of the top 5? I got
All
2.
of them.
Cade
All of
Otton, Jawan
them.
Johnson. You think Travis
All of
Kelsey
them
will be
could
out of the
not
top
be.
5?
No, Travis Kelce probably be in the top five. But
Dallas
tight ends
Goddard.
are tight ends are stupid, and all of them could not be in the top five next week. It's very, very easily. But yeah, I mean, Travis Kelsey and Dallas Goddard are going to stay. You want to think Cole Kmet? Well, the obvious answer is Juwan Johnson. I mean, I don't see that guy being in the top five again. So that's
See,
why.
Jawan Johnson's had been better this year than Cade Otton. It'd be between those two, and I'm gonna go Cade just so we can finally disagree because we never disagree on this show. So I'll go Cade because the Buccaneers stink, and everything I'm gonna say is because they're overseas. Any game overseas or Thursday night is garbage in my mind. So Jawan Johnson, because I picked him, will be terrible because every week I play him, he's terrible. Otherwise, he is good. So there's just food for thought to look at last week. It's interesting to see where they could go as we move forward. are you going to start? Who are you going to set? Let's find out. So we got some start set questions here from Facebook. I got a couple people here. Forrest wants to know, and I told him I'd DM him before he posts this because he might not hear it in time. The question was, he's worried about Foreman with the hurricane effects tonight, and I got to dig farther because here we go. Jonathan Taylor coming back from the injury in the disaster in Indianapolis, or Foreman against the cruddy Arizona D in the rain.
Well, last week I said Foreman over Mixon, and we all seen what happened, right? It's tough. I mean, it is Jonathan Taylor, and you're just not going to bench Jonathan Taylor for Donta Foreman. That's a ballsy move, right? Even though the Colts are playing really bad, everything about that team is really bad. I'm pretty sure they're trying to lose every game from here on out. That's a very tough question, man. I'm sorry that you've got to go through this, but honestly, I would probably start Taylor. I know it would be hard, but I mean, you drafted him 101. I mean, ride or die, right?
Taylor's my answer for another reason as well that came over the interweb today is Deion Jackson might not play. Deion Jackson got added to the injury with, I forget off the top of my head what it was, but he hit the injury list. So Deion Jackson's out. That means that they're not going to give, he has a DNP on Wednesday, misses a bunch of practices, a knee issue. So that might give him a couple scat back things that we might not have been thinking about, going forward. So that would be my guess. I was definitely always start your studs as the best you can do. And just interestingly enough, Andy Dalton just got traded, won our leagues for a 2024 second in a Superflex league. Interesting. What do you think of that?
I mean, if you need a quarterback, you need a quarterback to play. I mean, sometimes Andy Dalton's not terrible. I mean, there's worse options out there. You need a quarterback. It's only a draft pick. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, it's auction, so it's a little more fun. I don't have any money, but I don't care. Crystal's asking, she's got some quarterbacks here, man. Herbert, Daniel Jones, or Mariota. Herbert has been terrible, and he's playing the Niners. Danny Dimes this week I'm trying to talk while stalling because I forget who he's going up against. I had everything in front. Going against the Houston Texans, so that's a plus matchup. And Mariota is going to get a lot of rushing yards against the Panthers. Which one of those three are you going to start?
That's a tough. I mean, all these questions are. Oh my god, I hate answering any of these questions. I mean, honestly, I'd probably still start Herbert. But then again, he's got no receivers. But like you said, you drafted him high. You got to play him. Daniel Jones is good, but like I said, you don't know what you're really going to get with Daniel Jones. If he doesn't run the ball, you're in trouble. Same as Mariota. If he's not running the ball and get those rushing yards, you're in trouble. At least.
It's already raining there.
Yeah, I mean they're going to run the ball, but I mean at least Herbert, I mean he could throw for a lot of yards without the disadvantage of running it because he really doesn't run anywhere. So I'd still go Herbert.
I might zag here. The Texans are terrible.
They are terrible.
Danny Dimes is a very tempting play. I mean, if you want to play it safe, it's Herbert. If you are in a close matchup that you might need a little bit of leverage, Danny Dimes is probably the play for me there. Okay, we're listening.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't complain before you doing it. I mean, I definitely understand the reasoning.
Unfortunately, no one's playing Mariota, who I got to play this week. Simon says, I've been offered Ayuk for Jonathan Taylor. I rejected it, rather, immediately. Was I too hasty?
No, everybody would reject that immediately. I mean, even though Jonathan Taylor isn't playing the greatest, he's still Jonathan Taylor, and he's more valuable than just Brandon Ayuk.
It's week 10, though, so he might need a receiver that's scoring 10 points a week versus a running back who's scoring nothing and 6.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's true.
I wouldn't do it. I'm just playing devil's advocate there. Like it's one of those like.
My issue is I see everything through the lens of dynasty.
Yeah.
Redraft never crosses my mind, hardly ever. So that's why all these questions, like when you ask me a question, I guarantee you all my questions are dynasty related just because.
Would you rather have Ayuk, say your team, you have Ayuk for the rest of the year or Jonathan Taylor for the rest of the year, and then they both have to be dropped from your team?
I'd probably still have Jonathan Taylor, but because, running backs are harder to come by. I mean, you can get a receiver. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, but I mean, it's still Jonathan Taylor. Like you drafted him 101. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus, you gotta
not
be
being
that.
his.
Like,
Uh,
what's your running back situation if you're going to get rid of Jonathan Taylor? It can't be good.
I have no clue. Oh no, I forgot. Nathan wants to know: is there any point kicking the ball when they all just watch it anyway?
Where are we kicking it?
Is there
Where?
any point having a kickoff?
Oh,
That's funny. I didn't read the question.
I mean,
I'm totally Ron Burgundying it right now. Like I was like, oh, I get it now.
not really. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty pointless. I'd rather just give the ball on the 20 yard line, 25 yard line. But you never see a kickoff return anymore. It's kind of depressing.
You know what? Yeah, it's what's the point? I like the whole thing where they talk about like going from the 40 or something ridiculous like that. Stuart wants to know what is your favorite defense for this week? The Titans, Giants, Cardinals, Saints, or Raiders?
I'll probably say Titans. I think the Titans got a really good defense. I mean, all across the board. I mean, better than the Giants are okay, but I think as a team defense, I think Titans are just a better defense than all these other guys.
Yeah,
Definitely not the Raiders.
Giants have a good matchup with the Texans. That'd be my tempting for this week. Generally, I tell guys or anybody when they go like, "Hey, what defense or kicker?" I say, "Dude, I don't know. They're crapshoots." You just sometimes you'll be like, "I'm playing the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, and they don't get any turnovers. They give away 12 points, and that's like three." But you play the Falcons this week, and they score one touchdown and they get eight. It's crazy to think it's just a total dumpster fire. So Lewis wants to know here. My league has two flex spots. I'm trying to use running backs in those spots. His bench wide receivers are Landry, Claypool, Zay Jones. My starting running backs are Jonathan Taylor and Cordero. So one flex is Chuba Hubbard this week. Would I be crazy to put Algier in my flex spot, starting Patterson, or should he play Hunt, Mostert, or Kyron Williams? So should he put two Falcons running backs in?
I mean, honestly, that doesn't sound like a bad liner because they're going to run the ball. They'll probably run the ball every play. It's going to be like
At
the Patriots,
Patriots game?
Patriots coming the other year. We're literally probably going to run the ball every play. I mean, it's not a crazy play. I mean, Hunt hasn't been great. Kyron Williams, I mean, he's never even played, so you don't even know what he's going to be. And what was the other guy?
That was Mostert. Depends on it.
Mostert. And I mean, Mostert's. I mean, what are you going to get out of Mostert with Jeff Wilson there? So I mean, Algiers not a crazy play, not a crazy play in the flex.
50-50 play there. So let's go to Chris wants to know what's going on with the Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. He's been the popular thing. Um, do you bench him? He has to dump him. I say no to dumping. Don't dump Jonathan Taylor. I don't care what happens. Jonathan Taylor has to like have his legs fall off the dump. But do you bench him? How bad would your running backs have to be or good? Bad? Good? I don't know. What would it take for you to bench Jonathan Taylor?
Now, for my other three running backs to be really, really good. I mean, you can Jonathan Taylor. I feel like is at least a flex play, right? At the if
Yeah.
anything, he's still going to get the ball. They're not going to pass the ball a lot. They're going to run the ball a lot. And so I mean, at least he's going to get the volume. So I mean, yeah, you can't dump him. And I mean, if you're brave enough to bench him, I mean, go for it. I mean, if you've got a better flex option than Jonathan Taylor would be.
Here we go. Kevin wants to know McLaurin or Godwin. I'm assuming Chris because I think the other Godwin's on Speedy Godwin's on IR. McLaurin or Chris Godwin full point PPR.
I would go McLaurin. I'm just not very faithful in Godwin in the Bucks this year. At least McLaurin has had some good games. Godwin hasn't.
Okay, Tom wants to know Amon Ra or Amari Cooper.
I'm going to go with Amari Cooper. Amon Ra hasn't been very good. Lions haven't
Oh,
been very good. Amari Cooper, I mean, has some. And it's Amari. You're going to get Amari Cooper that you've always gotten. He could get you 20. He could get you 3. I
well,
mean,
it's
that's.
Miami though this week, and you saw what Miami let Justin Fields' team do. So that's
Well, I get it. I mean, like I said, this could be the game where Amari Cooper gets 25, but this could also be the game where Amari Cooper gets 3. Just, I mean, I feel like Amari Cooper is the original Tyler Lockett. I don't know however long they, but Amari Cooper, I mean, he's the top receiver.
I'm going Homer. I'll say Amon Ra because they're playing the Bears, and the Bears let my two receivers score a bunch, and I just can't go against the Dolphins. So good luck. You can pick which one you like. Like really, I could see those two guys being within 5 points, 3 points of each other. To be honest, so it's who do you want to watch? And Vance says, "Do I start Hubbard, Chuba?"
I mean, I mean,
Falcons' run defense is terrible.
I mean,
Foreman playing today last week.
I'm probably not starting Hubbard, like I said. But I mean, if I've got like I'm going to say this, if I got better options, like I don't know what these guys' options are. That makes this question so hard.
Where
Like
would you throw in Chuba? Would he be so? Think about top 24 running backs. Let's see what I got here.
I say, I mean, a flex play. I mean, I say he's in line for a flex play. I mean, the way I've seen some flexes that I do like. Then this next guy you're going to bring up as a like I'll say Devonta Smith. Am I going to start Hubbard or Devonta Smith in my flex spot if I had to? I'd probably go Hubbard because at least I know he's going to run the ball some.
Right now, Hubbard is number 39 on Fantasy Pros, which is interesting. I think I have him higher. I got to go check my rankings real quickly after this. Kamal, sorry if I said your name. I've talked to him a couple times. Start one in PPR. Devonta Foreman, Smith, or Herbert. The running back.
Probably not going to be Smith because I mean that's just a disaster of a that's just a disaster right there. Foreman, you coming off the bad game, you got Hubbard coming in there too. I mean, I'm gonna go Khalil Herbert probably
But,
just to be safe. I feel like Herbert's safe.
yeah, Foreman, he laid an egg, so that means he's gonna score like 1,000 points this week. I think Smith and Foreman either will do really good or really bad. Herbert, yeah, Herbert's got the lower floor, so if you're safe there, if you're like for me, if you want to go shoot for the stars, Smith is probably the better shoot for the stars guy. Being a receiver for Philadelphia would be my guess. Okay, Mark wants to know what's up. Mark, happy he's from high school. This is our last one. It's a funny question. PJ Walker over or under 10.5 yards.
What was the number?
10.5 yards. Didn't he have 10.10 last week or 9 or something?
I'm gonna go over that.
Should we say all purpose or is this passing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'll take that is funny. I didn't realize it was that bad.
I think it was lower. PJ, I believe he had 9 yards off the top of my head. Yeah, 9 yards, 2 interceptions, 30% completion percentage. And now a message from our favorite sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Now that we are in season, they offer even more fantasy sports options. You can choose to play 4 to 6 round draft contests with up to 10 people. You can even create your own private draft room.
And that's not all. Underdog also offers pick'em fantasy contests where you decide if players will go higher or lower than a listed stat line, from touchdowns to yards to interceptions and many more. It's a fun way to show your fantasy prowess. Sign up now with the code Couriers and they'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
And just in case you missed that, when you make your first deposit of $10 or more, deposit 100, get 100 free.
And with their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your squad or making your best picks.
So join Underdog today, and don't forget to use the code Couriers. A link is in the notes of the podcast.
Now back to the podcast. Game by game preview. Okay, this is going to be a speed through game by game preview. We had a lot of fun there with Facebook questions, just talking about them led to a bunch of other discussions. But I'm going to go through each game, ask you a question or two as far as what you would think of for the week for a couple of people. And we'll get through them here, and we'll wish you a fair week, and we'll start the rainy week off in Atlanta at Carolina. The Hurricane is starting to sort of send rain that way. It's going to be a rushing game. Would you start any of these running backs as your every running back listed? So we're looking at Algier, Patterson, Hubbard, and Foreman. Based upon bye weeks and whatnot and injuries and everything, are all 4 of those guys RB3s or flexes?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm starting both Algier and Patterson, different leagues. I'm starting both of those and starting 4. Yeah, so I mean, I think all of them are a solid start.
Kyle Pitts dead?
I mean, I'm sure he's still alive, but I guess in the eyes of fantasy managers, he might as well be.
What should owners of DJ Moore do this week?
The same thing the owners for DJ Moore have always done.
He was starting to trend up, but
trended up for 2 games. I mean, I feel like it's hard. It's hard for me for a trend to be 2 games for it to be a trend. But I mean, when you have 10 bad games in a row, it's going to take more than two for to have any faith in you, right?
And Mariota, where does he fall? Being that it's going to be a lot of running, and then he'll probably get like some drop off. So I'm guessing Mariota probably runs for, I would say 60, 70, 80 yards just because of what it's going to be, and then has a dump off touchdown. Does that throw him in super flex, a strong super flex start option? Tell me yes, please.
I mean, he's always been. I mean, he's been
Yes,
a like
yes, yes.
set
I have
five
Lamar
guard. I
up
mean,
too.
he had that bad game last week, but you got to understand that's what you're going to get. But when you're down around QB 22, 23, 24, I think his upside is a little better than those other ones.
Does Ritter ever see the field in Atlanta?
Probably not. Not if
Next
they're
year?
maybe not. I mean,
I,
I would say he gets an opportunity next year. I would guess.
Seattle at Tampa Bay. I believe this is in Germany, if I'm correct. Am I right about that?
I'm not really sure, dude. No idea.
Um,
I think so.
so
I know there is a game in Germany. I don't know which one it is. Which one it is.
I believe it's in Germany. No, darn it. But anyway, so let's look at the who's a better start this week? Geno Smith. Yeah, it's in Munich. Geno Smith or Tom Brady?
We'll go Geno Smith. I know it's away. But I'm going to go Geno Smith. He's played better all year, so I'd rather start Geno Smith than Tom Brady. I'm a little more confident at the moment.
Which receiver of the big four of those two teams would you, if you had to do a DFS, a pick 'em from one of
Tyler
those four
Lockett.
guys? What?
Tyler Lockett.
Wow, that's crazy. He would have been our number four at the start of the season, right?
Yeah, probably, but not right now. He's
Top.
the most consistent out of all of them.
Okay, Vikings at Bills. This game's gonna end up looking like the greatest game in the world and be a big old pile of poop, isn't it?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, if Josh Allen doesn't play, it could be pretty bad. But I mean, the Vikings have been good. Have been buff. I mean, I think it's going to be a solid game. I think you can just fire up pretty much everybody that you always have. The
Case
only
Keenum
option,
plays. Do you play Gabriel Davis?
I might not play Gabriel Davis.
But you would
I don't
still
know.
play Diggs, and that's about it, right?
Yeah, I'm still playing Diggs. I mean, Case Keenum I mean, he's a good backup quarterback. I mean, I think he can come in and do the job. I mean, he's done it before. So I mean, I think Diggs is safe.
If Case Keenum plays, do you pay a little more attention to Dawson Knox and
Who?
Knox Dallas? What's Knox's first name? Tight
Um,
end for the Bills.
I forgot it. I've already forgot about him already, dude.
Down him because of a backup quarterback with a dump off and maybe Singletary.
Sure, man. I mean, if you got to start Dawson Knox, enjoy your 2 points. I mean,
Adam Thielen, a wide receiver three.
and probably not. Has been. I mean,
Shootout.
When was the last time he's been a wide receiver three?
A couple weeks ago, but it's been Osborne more or less. Okay, Vikings are going to the Bears. Justin Fields, does he repeat last week's performance?
He doesn't repeat last week's performance, but I mean, he's probably, I'd say down there where he was, 23, 24, 25 points. If he continues rushing the ball like this, I mean, like I said, it's going to be like this every week. It's like Lamar's season that he had. He's on pace for a lot of yards.
You're saying that since I have Josh Allen and Justin Fields as my backup, I shouldn't be as scared.
Yeah, you should be all right.
Okay. You have four running backs in this game. Rank them: Swift, Williams, Herbert, and Montgomery.
I'd probably go Williams, then I'd probably go Montgomery, Herbert, and then Swift because I just don't know what Swift's. I don't know what I'm getting for Alice Swift.
Wow! Brave enough to start Mitchell as your tight end this week.
No,
Okay. You have to start a tight end. You do realize that. Would you? He
I mean
scores.
I do got to start a tight end, but like if I mean honestly, I mean I did have to start Mitchell last week.
I
It
did.
got me that. It got me a touchdown, but no, I'm not starting him this week. I don't. I mean, I got to be
Chiefs,
desperate.
Chiefs and Jaguars. Does Patrick Mahomes play the whole game?
I think he plays the whole game. Yeah.
What receiver from this two teams would you play?
Well, I mean, Juju's probably the guy right now. I mean,
Christian
he's
Kirk?
on fire. I mean, yeah, Christian Kirk's been a positive. I mean, you said which one? So,
Oh,
but
yeah. I was wondering who'd be higher. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I go Juju and then Kirk.
Wow, the Chiefs running backs are terrible. Let's just note that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
pardon me.
Browns at the Dolphins. Do the Browns put up Bears-like numbers this week? Chubb run for 200, Jacoby Brissett run for 50 probably, or are the Dolphins, is this a get right and the Browns just look like poo and we're going to get overconfident starting our Browns players?
I mean, I'd probably get more overconfident. I don't see. I mean, the reason the Bears did what they did last week because Justin Fields was running all over the place. I mean, he didn't. It's not
Stop
like he
it,
threw for.
man.
It's not look like he threw for a lot of yards, and I don't see Brissett back there running for 178 yards.
Do you see McDaniels ask Fields to stop running? He's like, "Stop it, man!" On the sideline, he's like, "Stop it." Okay, dude, Tyreek and Waddle both over 100 yards.
I would say Tyreek is. I'm not sure, but Waddle doesn't get there all the time.
He just gets a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay, Saints and the Steelers. Which quarterback would you rather start?
The Saints and the Steelers.
This is a battle of quarterbacks you don't want to
I'm
start, but
going,
you might have to, and rookie
no,
receivers.
I'll go Kenny Pickett.
Rookie receivers. Who you starting?
Rookie receivers.
You're looking at George or Chris Lave
I'll
or
go.
Pickett?
I'll go Lave.
Okay. Is Jalen Warren going to take 50% of the snaps from what's his name? Who I don't even want to Najee Harris.
Yeah, we
There's a Voldemort's brother, Najee Harris.
I mean, it'd probably be smart to give him that many carries. Probably can't do any worse than Najee, right? Can't do
Have a
anything.
run over 20 yards. I saw Broncos versus the Titans. I had to trade for Russell Wilson. That's how bad it is because I have Josh Allen. Do the Broncos come out better off the bye?
No, Tennessee's got a good defense, man.
Okay, that's all I got. I don't
think
think
they're in.
okay.
I think they're in. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very bad offensive game.
It's going to be pretty terrible. It's going to be 9-3. Okay, Raiders and the Colts. There's another terrible game. Who has more yards, Derek Carr or Sam Ellinger?
All right, Derek Carr.
Who has more yards, Pittman or Adams?
Adams. I don't. Pittman ain't gonna have any yards. It's very possible.
Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs?
I'll go Josh Jacobs.
Okay, so you got the Raiders winning the game. It's in Vegas. And Dan Carlson is your locked and loaded kicker one this week because they're in Vegas. He hasn't missed there yet. Cowboys versus the Packers. Dak or Aaron Rodgers?
Dak. Aaron Rodgers is going to get benched.
For Jordan Love. Rank the 4 running backs.
Is Aaron Jones healthy?
I'll look it up. Let's assume assume Aaron Jones plays.
So we'll go Pollard, Jones, Zeke, and Dylan.
Aaron Jones has been limited. Zeke has been limited as well. So it's not getting me anything straight up here. So we'll assume. Okay. I have too many windows open. Okay. Cardinals and Rams. Better day. Cooper Kupp or DeAndre Hopkins, assuming Kupp has a backup quarterback.
I'll do Cooper Kupp.
Even with the backup?
Even with the backup. Nah, probably not.
It's probably Wolford, isn't it? I believe it is.
I would probably go Hopkins on that.
Okay, Chargers and the Niners. Josh Palmer, Ayuk, or Debo?
I'm going to go Ayuk.
Who's number 2, Debo or Josh Palmer?
I'll go Josh Palmer.
Ooh, Eckler is such a good player. Okay, Commanders and the Eagles is the Monday night game. Who wants to see that? Oh, they're going to kill them, aren't they? What? I don't even know. Like, receivers here. You got to start. They're all good. I got nothing for this game. Do you have anything for this game?
No, I mean, it might be a better game than we think. I mean, Chase Young might play. I know it's defense, but he might be back. So their defense, I think their defense is going to be worked a little better.
Affects Miles Sanders then. So Miles Sanders top 12 running back. I guess not.
Probably. I wouldn't say Miles Sanders is a top 12 running back. No.
McLaurin better than Devonta Smith.
I think McLaurin. Yeah, I think McLaurin's better than Devonta Smith. Yeah.
Okay, give us some wisdom. Let's get out of here. Let's go watch the rainy game.
Bye week's almost over. There's what is it this week?
They go up till week. They go up till the thing. It's not as devastating,
but it's not as bad as like
last
8 teams. Yeah. So I mean, this is what you kind of plan for in a draft for these bye weeks. You can make sure your bench is deep enough. It's last trade deadline a lot this week too, so you only got a couple more days to make trades. So make sure if you need that last bit of help to get you over the top, make sure you do that. And as always, trust yourself and trust the process.